The galaxy was vast and cold. Stars burned in the darkness like scattered fires. Worlds floated silently in space. Some were rich with life. Others were barren rocks. No one counted them all. Only the strong ruled. On one of the outer planets, a proud alien empire thrived. Its cities stretched across the horizon, shining with metal and light. Its fleets patrolled the stars. They called themselves the true rulers of the galaxy. Nothing could challenge them, or so they thought. But war came anyway. It came from the shadows. A rival empire, far stronger than anyone expected, struck without warning. Their weapons tore cities apart. Oceans boiled. The skies burned red with fire. The aliens had faced enemies before. They had survived. But this time, nothing could stop the destruction. The alien people ran. Some hid beneath crumbling cities. Others fled to orbiting ships, praying their shields would hold. But the rival fleet hunted them. One by one, their planets fell. Stars they had called home for centuries became graves. Amid the chaos, a single alien officer floated in space, staring at his dying world. He had trained for war all his life. He had fought in battles across the stars. But nothing could prepare him for this. The screaming of his people echoed in his mind. The burning cities, the falling towers, the cries of children, it burned into him. He felt fear. Real fear. Not the controlled fear of a soldier on a battlefield, but the deep, raw fear of losing everything. His home, his family, his honor, all gone in a single strike. He wanted to fight. He wanted to scream. But there was nothing he could do. The galaxy was against him, and he was alone. From orbit, he looked at the stars. He scanned for allies. But the neighboring empires had watched quietly from a distance. None came to help. They had learned long ago that the strong survive and the weak die. There was no mercy in the galaxy. Only rules. Rules that even death sometimes ignored. Then he saw it. A flicker of a signal. Small. Almost invisible. It came from deep space. He did not recognize it. No empire had ships there. No known life could send such a message. He frowned, unsure. It felt human. Strange, weak, almost insignificant. Nothing, he thought. Humans were not a threat. They had never been seen beyond a few scattered reports. And yet, something in the signal made him pause. There was a pattern. Something clever. Something alive. He could not understand it, but his instincts screamed at him to watch it. To track it. He felt a chill. The universe was larger than he had imagined. And maybe, just maybe, these humans could change it. The officer watched helplessly as his homeworld cracked and burned. Ships exploded in orbit. Stars themselves seemed to mourn the loss. The galaxy had taken everything from him. Everything he had known, everything he had loved, was gone. He felt pain he had never thought possible. Loneliness, rage, fear, despair. And then, in the dark, a single thought cut through the chaos. Something was coming. Something he did not yet understand. Something small, weak, yet impossible to ignore. The signal pulsed again, brighter this time, as if calling to him. He frowned. His instincts told him danger lay ahead. But he could not know what. He could not know that the humans he had dismissed as weak and insignificant would soon become the galaxy's most unexpected force. He pressed his fingers against the console. The flickering signal grew stronger. Something about it did not belong. Something about it promised change. And then the last of his fleet fell. The universe was empty, silent, deadly. And the signal from the humans pulsed again, faint but persistent, a whisper in the dark. Something was coming, and the officer realized, too late, that the galaxy was about to witness a storm it had never imagined. Deep in uncharted space, the missing battleship drifted silently. For decades, no one had seen it. No alien fleet had tracked it. Yet it had survived, hidden among the stars. Its metal hull was scarred, its engines quiet. Inside, humans worked tirelessly, their eyes bright, their hands busy. The galaxy had thought humans were weak, slow, insignificant. They had laughed at Earth and its tiny fleet. No one had taken them seriously. And yet here they were, alive, still moving, still fighting against a universe that had never cared for them. The humans aboard the battleship were not heroes in the traditional sense. They were ordinary people, engineers, scientists, soldiers, children who had grown up in space. But they had something no alien could understand. They had stubbornness, a will that refused to break. Pain had sharpened them. Starvation had honed their minds. Every loss had made them stronger, not weaker. Food was scarce. Systems were failing. Radiation storms had ripped through the hull. Yet they did not cry. They did not surrender. They repaired engines with their bare hands. They scavenged weapons from wreckage. They learned new ways to survive. Every challenge became a lesson. Every mistake became a plan. The humans' leader, a woman who had lived through countless battles on Earth before the ship disappeared, walked along the deck. She scanned the control panels, checking the systems. Her face was tired. Her body ached. But her eyes burned with focus. Every human on the ship mirrored her resolve. None of them feared death. Some had lost friends. Some had lost family. All had felt pain. And yet they continued. Because humans never surrendered. Outside the ship, the void of space stretched endlessly. Signals from distant stars flashed, but none of them were allies. The galaxy had forgotten Earth. And yet the humans thrived in the shadows. They moved like ghosts, quiet and precise, turning nothing into something, weakness into power. Aliens would have called it impossible. A lost ship surviving decades without refueling, without allies, with only a tiny crew. Yet humans made it look simple. They had no advanced AI. They had no overwhelming numbers. They had something better. They had ingenuity, courage, and the stubborn refusal to die quietly. A strange signal pulsed faintly in the distance. The humans noticed it first. It was irregular, almost intelligent. They studied it. Some scratched their heads. Some frowned. They had never seen anything like it. It was small, weak, insignificant, some might say, but the humans did not dismiss it. Their minds were curious. Their instincts alert. The ship's navigator checked the readings. The signal's origin was from deep space, far beyond known colonies, beyond any map. It was dangerous territory. And yet, humans were not afraid. Fear did not stop them. Pain did not stop them. They had survived far worse. They would find the source. They would face it. And they would not back down. The alien officer from Part 1 had dismissed humans. They were weak, insignificant, easily ignored. But the humans on this battleship were already proving otherwise. Not with weapons. Not yet. But with something older, stronger, something no alien could calculate. A human will that refused to be broken. As the battleship moved closer to the signal, the crew sensed something unusual. The stars around the signal seemed to shimmer. Space itself felt alive. The ship's sensors picked up patterns. Patterns that made the navigator frown. Something was coming. Something dangerous. Something that could change everything. The humans prepared. They did not know what they would face. They did not know if they could survive it. But they were ready. Because humans never gave up. Humans never surrendered. And humans had a way of shocking the universe. The signal pulsed again. Brighter. Stronger. Alive. And for the first time in decades, the humans felt a spark of fear. Not the fear that stops you, but the fear that sharpens every instinct. Something waited. Something beyond anything the galaxy had seen. And they were moving toward it. The humans moved deeper into uncharted space. Stars twisted in strange formations. Cosmic storms raged silently, tearing at the ship's shields. The strange signal pulsed ahead, a faint heartbeat in the darkness. Every sensor flickered. Every system groaned. Then it appeared. The alien armada. Hundreds of massive warships. Metal giants floating like predators in the void. They were the guardians of the galaxy's rules, enforcers of law and order. And they were not pleased to see Earth's lost battleship. The humans had expected danger. They had survived worse. But even they paused for a moment, staring at the overwhelming fleet. Their odds were impossible. The armada outnumbered them 100 to 1. Their weapons were ancient by comparison, designed to crush entire worlds. Yet the humans did not flee. The aliens did not approach quietly. They fired a warning barrage. Explosions lit the darkness. The battleship shuddered. Hull plates twisted. Systems sparked. The air inside stung with heat. Humans fell, some injured, some coughing from the smoke. Pain surged through them. Hunger and exhaustion gnawed at their minds. And yet, they moved. They adapted. Crew members repaired critical systems with bare hands. Engineers rerouted power from engines to shields. Scientists adjusted weaponry, improvising missiles from scrap metal. Every setback became a tool. Every failure became a plan. The alien fleet laughed. They had heard the rumors of humans surviving decades alone. They had dismissed them. Primitive, they said. Weak. Insignificant. Easily destroyed. But now, As the humans maneuvered in ways no AI could predict, the laughter faltered. Something strange was happening. The humans were surviving. They were resisting. Pain struck again. A plasma cannon tore through the upper deck. Sparks flew. Crew members screamed, but they did not stop. Fear gripped the ship, but it did not freeze them. Humans do not fear death. They embrace it, knowing it is part of the fight. They pressed forward, shields holding by the skin of their teeth, every heartbeat a defiance against the odds. The alien commanders grew frustrated. They had never seen anything like this. Their weapons were designed for efficiency, for certainty. And yet, these humans twisted the chaos into opportunity. They dodged attacks, countered with improvised strikes, and disappeared into shadows of asteroid fields. Every alien maneuver was met with cunning, unexpected, unpredictable. The human leader watched the bridge screens, her face pale but focused. She knew the risks. She knew that one wrong move could destroy them all. But she also knew that humans never surrender. Every crew member mirrored her resolve. They had lost everything in space before. They had survived. And now, against this overwhelming threat, they would survive again. A massive alien cruiser moved closer, preparing a decisive strike. Its weapons were unlike anything humans had seen, designed to erase life with a single blast. The ship shook. Every alarm screamed danger. Humans clung to consoles, hearts pounding. This was the moment the galaxy expected them to fall. But humans were not predictable. The engineer rerouted power, creating a shield pattern the alien computers could not calculate. The weapons officer improvised a counterattack using the ship's hidden caches. And the navigator, guided by instinct and intuition, led the battleship through a narrow corridor of debris, evading the strike by inches. The alien fleet watched in shock. They had expected surrender. They had expected fear. They had expected death. But the humans did not bow. They adapted. They fought. They survived. And then the signal from deep space pulsed again. It grew brighter, stronger, alive. The humans sensed it. Whatever lay ahead was connected to this strange power. Whatever it was, it would challenge them even more than the Armada. The alien commanders did not know it yet, but the human survival was only the beginning. Something beyond understanding waited. And the galaxy was about to see a force it had never imagined. The alien fleet tightened its grip. Hundreds of ships surrounded the human battleship. Weapons glowed red. Engines hummed with deadly energy. The Armada expected an easy kill. They had faced weak species before. They had crushed smaller fleets without thought. Humans, they assumed, would fall the same way. But humans do not fall easily. Inside the battleship, crew members moved with calm precision. The navigator adjusted the ship's course, weaving through asteroid belts and debris clouds. Engineers rerouted power to reinforce shields. Scientists modified cannons, turning scrap into deadly projectiles. Every human aboard was working, thinking, surviving. Pain and exhaustion had honed them into a living weapon. The alien commanders laughed. Primitive species, they said. They will burn. They will break. Nothing can save them. Their words dripped with confidence. They did not see the human's eyes, bright with determination, unbroken by decades of isolation and suffering. The first wave of alien strikes came. Massive beams of energy sliced through space. The battleship shuddered. Fire erupted across its hull. Systems failed. Crew members were thrown off balance. And yet, humans adapted. They twisted the ship's position mid-flight, reflecting some of the energy with shield manipulation. They fired improvised missiles at weak points in the alien formation. The Armada faltered. Shock rippled through the alien fleet. Their calculations had been perfect. Their strategies flawless. And yet, these humans survived. Not because of weapons or numbers, but because of stubbornness, courage, and raw, unpredictable creativity. The aliens had not expected ingenuity. They had not expected survival. The human leader stood on the bridge, scanning the fleet. Her face was calm, but her mind raced. They were outnumbered, outgunned, outmatched. But humans never give up. Every life lost, every injury, every failure had forged them stronger. They would not surrender. Not now. Not ever. As the alien armada fired again, a group of humans launched a daring counterattack. Using small debris as cover, they navigated the battleship into the flank of the largest alien cruiser. Missiles struck weak points no one had considered. Explosions lit the void. Alien ships reeled. Confusion spread. The humans had turned the fight into chaos, and chaos favored them. The aliens' laughter faltered. Shock replaced confidence. Impossible, a commander hissed. They should have fallen already. They had underestimated the humans' ability to learn, adapt, and survive. They had underestimated the strength born from suffering. But the battle was far from over. The larger fleet moved to regroup, preparing a devastating strike designed to crush the humans once and for all. The battleship shuddered. Hull plates groaned under the stress. Crew members gritted their teeth, holding fast to consoles, ready to face the storm. And then the signal pulsed again, brighter than ever. The strange energy from deep space surged, almost alive. The humans noticed it immediately. Their instincts told them this was no ordinary signal. Something powerful, something dangerous, was waiting, and it was connected to their path. The alien fleet did not see it yet. They only saw the small, damaged human ship, barely able to defend itself. They thought the fight would end quickly. They thought humans were weak, fragile, and foolish. They did not know that this small, stubborn species had survived the impossible for decades. They had learned to turn weakness into strength, pain into power, and fear into resolve. The humans braced themselves. They had survived the Armada's first wave. They had adapted. They had resisted. But the real challenge, the unknown danger that pulsed from deep space, was still ahead. The stars around the signal shimmered. Space itself seemed to breathe. Something waited. Something alive. Something no alien could control. And the humans were heading straight for it. The alien fleet roared across space, a wall of metal and fire. Hundreds of ships, their weapons glowing, aimed to destroy the human battleship. They believed this fight would end quickly. They believed they could crush Earth survivors with a single strike. They were wrong. Inside the battleship, humans worked with a calm fury. Every hand was busy. Every mind was focused. Engineers rerouted power, turning damage into strength. Scientists adapted old weapons, reshaping them into something new. The navigator guided the ship with precision no machine could match. Pain and exhaustion had sharpened them into something terrifying, something the galaxy had not prepared for. The first alien strike hit. Explosions rocked the hull. Sparks flew. Fire spread. Humans screamed in pain. Some were thrown off balance. Some bled. And yet, they did not stop. Fear was meaningless. Death was only a part of the fight. Humans had survived worse. Humans never surrendered. The leader gave a single command: use everything. Every system, every weapon, every ounce of knowledge the crew had gained in decades of isolation was unleashed. The battleship shuddered as hidden cannons fired, creating a storm of light and energy. Missiles streaked from unexpected angles. Shields pulsed unpredictably, confusing the alien sensors. Every attack the Armada tried to land was countered, dodged, or turned against them. The alien commanders were stunned. Their fleets had never failed so spectacularly. Impossible, one hissed. They should be destroyed. Their weapons were powerful, their numbers overwhelming. And yet the humans survived. They adapted faster than any machine. They thought faster than any algorithm. Every failure became a new weapon, every injury a lesson. The human battleship moved like a ghost. It weaved through the Armada, striking weak points no alien had considered. Smaller ships exploded first, then cruisers, then capital ships. Chaos spread through the alien formation. What had been a confident, precise strike became a desperate scramble. Humans had turned the tide with nothing but courage, willpower, and ingenuity. Pain became power. Exhaustion became focus. Fear became instinct. Every human aboard the ship fought with a single truth in their hearts. They would survive. They would not surrender. And now, the galaxy was beginning to see the cost of underestimating humans. Then the signal pulsed again, brighter than ever. Space itself seemed to ripple around it. The humans felt it. Their hearts raced. This was the force that had called them here. The unknown danger that had guided their journey. And now it revealed itself, a vast presence, something alive, something impossible to predict. The alien Armada froze. Their weapons faltered. No calculations, no strategy could prepare them for what emerged. Humans, scarred, battered, and bloodied, moved forward. They did not falter. They did not hesitate. They had adapted to impossible odds. And now, against the galaxy's greatest forces, they became unstoppable. Energy beams flashed, ships exploded, stars lit the void. But the human battleship pressed forward, guided by instinct, courage, and stubborn refusal to die. The alien fleet scattered, their confidence shattered. They realized, too late, that these humans were not weak. They were a force the galaxy had never imagined, a storm born from pain, survival, and an unbreakable will. And in the distance, the signal pulsed once more, almost like a heartbeat. Humans were alive. Humans had survived the impossible. And the galaxy would never forget them. The galaxy was silent. Stars twinkled as if in awe. The alien fleets that had once surrounded the human battleship were shattered, scattered across space. Their commanders, once proud and confident, now fled in fear. Whispers of humans spread through the galaxy like wildfire. On board the battleship, humans worked quietly. Systems were repaired. Hull plates were patched. Cannons were cleaned. No one celebrated. There was no joy, only focus. They had survived. They had dominated. But the universe was vast, and survival was never permanent. Humans knew this better than anyone. Pain and loss had taught them that. The alien empires that had once laughed at humans now hesitated. Messages were sent across star systems. Earth's lost battleship. It survived, it fought, and it won, the transmissions said. Respect mixed with fear. No one wanted to face humans lightly again. Not the fleet commanders, not the emperors, not even the strongest mercenary clans. Humans had proven they were unpredictable, relentless, and unstoppable when cornered. Inside the bridge, the human leader stared at the stars. The crew around her were battered, exhausted, but alive. She knew the galaxy had seen a small taste of what humans could do. They had survived impossible odds. They had turned weakness into strength, fear into power, and stubbornness into victory. The mysterious signal pulsed again. Its energy rippled through space, brighter and more alive than before. The humans looked at it with cautious curiosity. It had guided them here. It had tested them. And it still waited. They had survived the alien armada, but whatever lay ahead was bigger, stronger, more dangerous. The galaxy had learned a truth it could not ignore. Humans were not just survivors. Humans were a force. They did not surrender. They did not fear death. They did not bend to rules imposed by others. And they had only begun to show what they could do. Reports of human resilience spread to the farthest corners of the galaxy. Planets that had once ignored Earth now trembled at the idea of human fleets. Even worlds that had never seen them knew the stories. A small battleship, lost for decades, emerging to destroy the impossible. Every story carried the same lesson: never underestimate humans. The human leader turned back to the bridge. She pressed her hand to the console, feeling the hum of the ship. Every scar, every dent, every burned panel was a reminder of survival. They had faced pain, fear, and death. They had lost friends. They had lost homes. Yet they were alive. And the galaxy had begun to understand a simple truth: humans never give up. Outside, the stars shimmered around the pulsing signal. It seemed to call to them, promising challenges and mysteries beyond imagination. Humans had survived the first test. They had outsmarted and defeated fleets the galaxy believed unbeatable. But the real journey was just beginning. The alien fleets that survived retreated. Planets once proud now whispered fearfully of Earth's battleship. Humans had earned respect through courage, through pain, and through an unbreakable will. They had rewritten the rules. They had changed the galaxy's calculations. And somewhere, deep in the darkness of space, the signal pulsed again, brighter, louder, and alive with promise. Humans would follow it. Humans would face it. And humans would survive. Because that was what they did. They endured. They adapted. They conquered. The galaxy watched in silence, unsure what would come next. One thing was certain: humans were no longer insignificant. They were no longer weak. They were a storm. And the universe had only just begun to feel their power.